Here's my top 10 list of what to get that special someone who just happens to be an online business owner, someone who works from home, a girl boss, or anything else like that for a gift. Now, this could be for their birthday, Valentine's Day is coming up, Christmas, it really doesn't matter. This is my list of top 10 must-haves. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe InDesign. So if this sounds like something you are interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Now my first list, let's start with some small stuff. This is actually not pretty at all. I used to have a really pretty rose gold one. It got stolen. This one was given to me by my cousin and it actually is pretty powerful. It has 10,000 mega amp hertz, or I'm not sure how you call it. So that means it lasts for a pretty long time. And also it has a flashlight. You can see that in case I guess I ever need it if I'm alone in my car. So this is definitely a big must-have if you have any external devices, a phone, iPad, anything else that you need to charge on the go. Now it does not power a laptop, but instead what you could purchase is you could get the Mophie, which I actually recommend as better, but what I have is the OmniCharge, and the OmniCharge does the same thing. It's also 20,000, again, I'm not sure the units, but it's the most units that you can have. It's going to charge up an entire laptop for you. And I use a MacBook Pro, which usually runs out of juice about 4 or 5 hours in versus a MacBook Air, which you probably don't need this for unless you're doing a road trip. So this was really nice. This was $179. The Mophie is $199. Now I will leave links to everything below. It's in the kit. And the next item I have up also for when you're working remotely is to get a jetpack. Now mine is from Verizon. You can get a jetpack from, and I believe they're called something else if you have Sprint or if you have AT&T, but basically this is going to allow you to use Wi-Fi instead of your phone, which I know you could tether your phone, but that again, you run into that problem where it's going to run out of power and you're going to just need to juice it up, versus this one doesn't take up a lot of power and it's going to allow you to connect to the internet. And I know with Verizon this only costs me $10 extra for the month for this extra line, so it's really not a big deal. The other thing you might want to get them, and I'm guessing they probably have a MacBook, but if they have a PC, you want to, either way, you want to get them an external line for their power, an external AC adapter, just because the bigger ones, usually you have to unplug it from the wall and it's kind of cumbersome, and then you have this over here which pops out and then hooks into a longer cord in the wall, which you don't really need a longer cord, especially if you're sitting in a coffee shop. You're usually right next to the power outlet. So that's something really nice. The other thing too is I love this water bottle. So I don't know if you know these. These are the double-insulated water bottles, and this one was actually a gift from my friend Camila, and this was part of her launch party. But because they are double insulated, it stays hot, it stays cold, and I've never had a problem with any of it leaking over any of my belongings in my bags, which has happened sometimes with the plastic water bottles. The next thing up is if they work from home, you might want to get them turned on to tea. Now I have a separate video I will link below where I did an unboxing of this and all of my favorite teas. I think that this is going to be much more better. It's going to be just better for calories, and it's going to provide them with at least 12 different options in terms of tea. Now I did get this for a gift too from my friends Terry and Gina. Next up is an external hard drive. So if you have someone, and this is possibly more with a graphic designer or someone who does video, and I cannot live with this external hard drive, and this is about 2 terabytes. It wasn't even that expensive. I think it was $59.99. This is Seagate. This is probably the best one. I used to use Western Digital, but Western Digital, for whatever reason, they like when I shake them I can hear some loose parts. It's still working, but sometimes it doesn't work, or it's sometimes just been an issue with Western Digital, where versus the Seagate ones I never have an issue, and they're a little smaller and compact, and I actually just really like this red color. Now the next thing up I have is an iPad Pro. I love this thing. I can't live without this, and especially nowadays I make a lot of planners that are digital, so you could use the iPad Pro just like a notebook instead of carrying a notebook around. Obviously, if you get someone the iPad Pro, you'll want to make sure to get them the cover that comes with it from Apple as well. And I would strongly advise making sure to get, and I do have a plastic sort of, not, is it plastic? It's a sticker, whatever, cover overlay, just so it doesn't get scratched up. And I would also definitely recommend getting the 128 gigabyte size, just because I always run out of data. And as you know, with Apple, there is no USB port on here, and cloud storage is useful, but it is kind of slow, especially if you are in a coffee shop, or like me, if you have large files that are very graphic intensive, it could be difficult to get. Now, there is no reason to get the Apple iPad Pro without getting an Apple Pencil, and possibly getting somebody 2 pencils, just because I have lost this a couple times. I don't know why. I just can't keep a hold of it, versus like old highlighters that are dead. I can't seem to throw those away, but for whatever reason, I keep losing this. And it does have a cap too, and sometimes I've just lost the cap, and this is how it charges into the iPad or into an external AC adapter. Now this I had to purchase separately, and I did that this time. I didn't do it the first time around, and this kind of got scratched up, so this helped immensely to have the case. And I don't remember how much it was. It was not that much more expensive to add that on too. Now the last thing I have, and this is probably more for graphic designers, but I think everyone's kind of using Canva. I don't know who isn't using things where you could possibly use a Wacom tablet. Now, what's the difference between a Wacom tablet and a touchpad? Well, the Wacom tablet actually comes with a pen, and it's not a real pen. And this one I have lost as well too, so I've had to repurchase it. But this pen works with the Wacom tablet, and I do have, this is a, it does plug in directly via USB to your computer or your laptop, but it also has, you could get, I think the newer ones come with Bluetooth. This is an older one, but I love this thing. And also, when you are on the computer, instead of using a mouse, you could use your tablet, and it just helps to get some of those finer lines, and to, especially if you're using Photoshop. I've used it a lot with InDesign. I use it slightly with Illustrator. I would be lying if I said I used it a lot, because I barely ever use Illustrator unless I need to create a logo. But I find this really, really useful, and it does come in this cute little pouch, so that in theory it should all stay together. However, it should be noted the pouch doesn't have a top, so you have to make sure it's always upright inside your bag so you don't lose that pen. And I almost forgot, because I've been using it for this video, is to buy a Diva ring for that special person or for yourself, because if you're a true girl boss, you don't need to wait for somebody to buy you presents. You could just get them on your own. So this is my favorite light. I can stick it on my phone, I can stick it on my iPad, and it just helps light everything up for a quickie selfie or a quick video. I lie, I don't even do quick videos, but if it has 3 different light settings, so off, low, medium, and high. And what I usually use it for too at home is, I used to use a Mylar, like a light screen to bounce light up onto my face, but now I simply just hook it here onto the bottom of my Dragon Pop filter, and it kind of lights me up from the bottom as well. So all right, that's it. That is my list of my top 10 things. If you have something that you like, make sure to post it below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.